Hello, magical people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Megmoonbeam, and today I'm going to get into our astrology horoscope for Wednesday, November 12th, going into Friday, November 14th. How's everybody doing out there? We've got some major space weather along with the Western astrology. Very, very exciting stuff. There's been a massive solar flare that has been creating a lot of interesting energies for us. Possible aurora borealis in many parts of the world. I had some people send me pictures of aurora borealis that they have seen where they live, and lots of beautiful colors coming through in the sky. We're going through very big activation right now. So, hello, everyone. Let me know how you're feeling in the live chats or the comments below. Always love to hear from you guys and hear where you're tuning in from as well. Before we get into the astrology, I'd really appreciate if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, consider leaving a comment below to help with the channel's growth. And also, I'm really excited to share that finally my 2026 astrology webinar for all 12 signs is live on my website for sign up. So, for those of you who don't know, every year around the end of the Gregorian calendar year, I like to do a looking at the Gregorian year ahead for all 12 sun, moon, and rising signs. And this is a 4-day webinar. It's over 12 hours. It's very in depth. I don't know any other astrologer that does what I do. Most other astrologers, just so you guys know, I know some of you guys probably know this, but a lot of other astrologers will charge $20 for one video forecast for one sign. With my 2026 astrology webinar, it's $44 USD for all 12 signs over 12 hours. So pretty good deal if you ask me. You can get your sun, moon, rising sign predictions, your friends, your family members. And if you can't join in live on any of the dates, there's unlimited replay access. I do have a discount code at the moment, which is 2026, that you can use to get 10% off the webinar until November 30th. And yeah, you can go sign up on my website, megmoonbeam.com. It's going to be live from Thursday, December 4th, Friday, December 7th, Thursday, December 4th, Friday, December 5th, Sunday, December 7th, and Monday, December 8th. There will be a 1-day break on that Saturday, December 6th, as it is my husband Jens's birthday. How's it going, everybody? Linda, hello, Linda says, I love these workshops. I will have to purchase upon my return on November 20th. Yes, Linda, we always love having you join in. Carly says, yes, I saw Aurora last night here in Wyoming. So cool that you're in Wyoming. I've never seen the Aurora Borealis before, and it is on my bucket list. I really, really want to see it really bad. Gratefully Awake says there were 4 to 5 flares in the last few days. Very, very exciting. Yes, it is extremely exciting, and we're going to talk about that a bit in today's video. So first, before we get into the solar flares, let's take a look at the Western astrology, see what we've got going on over here. So we do have on Wednesday, November 12th, exact Mercury conjunct Mars, and this is our only exact major aspect over the course of the next few days from Wednesday going into Friday. And this is really interesting because, Mercury currently retrograde ever since November 7th, at detriment in Sagittarius, and right now in a conjunction to Mars. So it's 2 of our inner planets in a conjunction with a Mercury retrograde. Has anybody been feeling this Mercury retrograde so far? Because I definitely have. I was even feeling it really strong during the pre-shadow period. And, Mercury retrograde, it does have its challenges, you guys. Of course, there can be more propensity for miscommunication, delays, things being wonky in our day-to-day life environment, socializing, with work and short distance travel. But Mercury retrograde is actually a very positive time for taking a sacred pause, reviewing, and reflecting on whatever area of life we in our personal charts have Mercury retrograde happening over. If you haven't seen my Mercury retrograde and Jupiter retrograde survival guide video, that is available on my YouTube and Rumble channels where I go through all 12 signs. But for all of us, this is a very in-depth Mercury retrograde that we are in right now, where even though Mercury is a detriment in the sign of Sagittarius, Sagittarius is higher truths, higher consciousness, beliefs. So we're going through a review and a release of those kind of things that no longer serve us. And also, when Mercury goes retrograde in Scorpio, there's going to be some very big secrets being revealed, shadow work coming up. I feel like we've been going through that for a very long time in recent times. But today, in the next few days, with this particular Mercury retrograde conjunct Mars at 6 degrees of Sagittarius, this is quite hot and active and feisty. Okay. So Mars is the planet of the divine masculine and can be conflict, aggression, anger, and frustration. I can see today and going into the next couple days, there can be more likelihood of arguments, little spit spats with our loved ones, in particular with our friends, siblings, neighbors, cousins, aunts, uncles, those Mercury kind of relationships. And people are really heated in Sagittarius, their beliefs about things. So this is definitely a day that, yes, it is feisty. We want to watch out for arguments, conflict. Okay, there could be things with Mercury being retrograde, like conflicts coming up that don't even make sense. Okay. Or they might not even be, both of the people might be wrong, right? Things that don't even really matter that much. So, today, in the next few days, it's really important for us to be mindful with our energies, who we're communicating with. Do we need to have that phone call with that person we haven't talked to for a while? Maybe we should wait until Mercury is not retrograde conjunct Mars. And it is a Scorpio season still. So Sun is 20 degrees today, Wednesday, Scorpio degree in the sign of Scorpio, while we are having these major solar flares coming in. So not only is it the energy of the sun, okay, and solar flares are all about activation, DNA upgrade. It's a very, very powerful, highly spiritual portal we're in when we're going through solar flares, really solar activations. Not only does it have to do with the sun and what the sun represents, but in Western astrology, the sun from our Earth's perspective is currently at 20 degrees of Scorpio, double Scorpio. So this solar flare, bam, it's also a big bam of Scorpio sun activation. And we've still got Venus in Scorpio, along with the sun in Scorpio. First Scorpio season with Pluto in Aquarius, out of bounds. So the Scorpio energy is very strong of transformation, secrets being revealed, shadow work, empowerment. Okay, big life tests, us facing our fears. So with this solar flare coming in with the sun in Scorpio and at a Scorpio degree, this is a very high level of not just transformation, but cleansing and purging. Scorpio in medical astrology rules cleansing, purging. Okay. So definitely a good time, whether physically or spiritually, to be doing detox, to be doing cleansing. And cleansing just doesn't have to just be on the physical level, you guys, although I do think physical cleansing is very, very important during these times. And I'm very excited. I'm not going to give away who it is. But over the course of hopefully the next month, I am going to have a very special guest on my channel that is an expert on cleansing and detox. So stay tuned for that. I'm also going to have Ethan Lucas from Serana coming onto my channel. I'm going to be interviewing him next week. Is that Thursday, November 21st? So we will be talking about cleansing then, and it is something very important with the current astrology for us to be doing. And yes, on the physical level, and there's many different ways of doing that, but also on the level of, what are you taking in every day? What music are you listening to? What activities are you doing? Everything we do is either feeding us or depleting us. Okay. And with the sun being in Scorpio with these solar flares, sun in Scorpio solar flares, holy guacamole, we can be going through a very big cleanse, detox, release of things that no longer serve us, major truths coming up to the surface, some uncomfortable things coming up to the surface. I feel like these solar flares are not just waking up humanity, upgrading our DNA, giving us, higher vibration, sun activation. But I'm also feeling intuitively right now that this solar flare with the sun in Scorpio at a Scorpio degree, it's going to bring in something very, very potent either this week or next week. That's like a major Scorpio slap in the face truth that we're ready to hear. Let me know what you guys think about that. But I just got that as a message. Very, very strong. There's going to be a very big truth that's kind of uncomfortable to hear, it feels like, but it's going to be coming out. And this solar flare activity is helping us with that. And, Scorpio deals with powerful people, politics, hidden money, financial system, the occult, the dark cult, what's done behind the scenes, right? When I did my Mercury retrograde survival guide video, I talked about how Hillary Clinton, oh, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Tomorrow is the day that the sun is 21 degrees of Scorpio, exactly conjunct Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden's Mercury at 21 degrees of Scorpio. And this Mercury retrograde will go from 6 degrees of Sagittarius to 20 degrees Scorpio, and will hit Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden's Mercury. So there's going to be something very big coming up with those two, for sure. Yes, Chrissy. Hey, hidden truths. For sure. Big, big time. I'm hearing spirits say, big time. Get ready. Get ready. There's something very big coming out. And Scorpio deals with things that can be uncomfortable, things that are not necessarily easy to hear, right? So this is very, very big energy right now. We've got the moon in Leo today, moving into Virgo later in the day, Eastern time. We will have moon in Virgo on Thursday, as well as Friday. And that moon in Virgo, making a nice sextile to Venus in Scorpio tomorrow on Thursday. So emotionally, we're not totally out to lunch. Thank God we've got that moon in Virgo right after we've had those solar flares. And maybe there will be more solar flares, right? That's helping us to ground the energy to process. Friday, we are going to have the moon in Virgo conjunct the South Node. So yeah, this is a very big energy next few days, you guys, of cleansing. I'm hearing spirits say renewal, processing, getting ready. Also, as we go into this weekend coming up, beautiful, grand water trine. Look at that, getting very, very strong between the sun in Scorpio, Jupiter in Cancer, and Saturn in Pisces. So let me just check something, you guys, because I didn't even realize. Are we going to have an exact grand water trine? Let me just check something here on my astrology program. Wow. Oh my gosh. November 17th, which is Monday, November 17th. I didn't realize this. Grand water trine with the sun, all at 25 degrees. Sun, 25 degrees of Scorpio, in trine to Jupiter, 25 degrees of Cancer, in trine to Saturn, 25 degrees of Pisces. Holy shit. Big purification time. big. And 25 degrees is an Aries degree. Men, politicians, business people, architecture, foundation. It's interesting. I've noticed with a lot of the things that have been coming out as of late with like ancient history, when we had like the big revelation with what's really under the pyramids and different ancient history things, there's always something going on with like an Aries degree or the sign of Aries or Mars. So typically in astrology, we associate ancient history and ancient civilizations with Saturn and Capricorn, but I also feel like Aries has to do with that because it's like the foundation of who we are, right? So what's coming up could have to do with our ancient past, our ancient history. And we're ready for something really, really big coming out to be released. We're on the spiritual level. I feel this solar activity, it's helping us for something that is to come either by the end of the week or next week that it's like we're ready for, and it's been a long time coming. Wowzers. This is some pictures of the auroras that are happening. So beautiful. This is Mia on X tagged me and she said, November 11th at the OK Farm in Alberta. How cool is that? So beautiful. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see the aurora borealis one day. What a blessing. So check where you're physically located because maybe you will be able to see the auroras this week. Absolutely beautiful. Interesting. Lady of Wild Rose says the Navajo elders speak of November as the month that breathes differently, when unseen winds carry whispers of renewal and the storm of balance begins to stir. Wow, that's so beautiful, Lady Rose. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, it makes sense because most of November is Scorpio season, right? Greg Reese posted a massive CME is expected to hit Earth tomorrow, the same day the Simpsons predicted a blackout decades ago. What is up with that, you guys? So weird that the Simpsons predict things. There's like multiple things the Simpsons have pre-predictive, programming put in their show. It is possible astrologically that we may have some major power outages, okay? Because we do have Uranus at the end of Taurus, retrograde, high instability, Uranus's most weak position when it comes to technology, electric grids, the earth, solar flares. Could happen. So we'll see about that. Michael Jaco, I see posted next 12 to 20 hours could see satellite, electrical cell, and internet grids impacted, as well as potential massive earthquake, volcanic tsunami activity worldwide. 5.1 X flare just launched a colossal CME towards Earth. Powerful, powerful, powerful. And I want to share this video with you guys of this dude, the Leo King, reposted this from NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center, kind of explaining what the heck just happened. Let's take a little listen.
The Space Weather Prediction Service Coordinator here in Boulder, Colorado. Well, we've had activity tonight. A lot of geomagnetic storm activity. A geomagnetic storm is a significant geomagnetic disturbance, basically a magnetic storm. And what happens when those occur is we can see things like the northern lights spin up from time to time. But the main focus is what these can do for impacts. But before I get into that, let's talk about what's actually going on right now. We have already had 2 of 3 anticipated coronal mass ejections arrive here at Earth. A coronal mass ejection, or CME for short, is a blast of solar material, charged particles, and a very strong localized magnetic field that stretches out into space from the sun. As I said, 2 of these have already arrived, and they packed quite a punch. We've already reached G4 severe level conditions due to those CME arrivals. We still don't believe that the 3rd CME has arrived yet. We're looking for that midday on the 12th of November, so
Wow.
Wednesday, somewhere around noonish time frame, give or take Eastern time. Could be earlier, could be later. But we don't think that that's arrived yet. But this batch of CMEs that did come in, these two, were profoundly more stronger than we anticipated. We did have a G2 to G3 level watch out, and we've already reached G4 levels. We do have a G4 watch out for the 12th of November, and that activity is already happening with these first CMEs. So what are we still looking for? That a third of the 3 CMEs to come in, and that was the most energetic and strongest of this activity out there in space. It was traveling significantly faster than these other two, and we think that's going to pack even a stronger punch than what we've already experienced. So into the overnight hours tonight, we do expect anywhere from G1 through G4 levels to continue. These types of storms can be very variable. There's a lot of dynamics that go on with them, and essentially we have to have the magnetic field of the CME that's passing over Earth be opposite Earth's magnetic field. That's been happening so far this evening, but it can easily turn the other direction and help activity come back down. It can be this way throughout the night, and even with the next CME, we don't know what to anticipate until it arrives at these critical solar wind observatories that we have 1 million miles from Earth. You may have heard of Swivel L1, the Space Weather Follow-On mission. That's one that's currently en route to replace these old solar wind spacecraft. But what we have out there now has been doing a good enough job to help us figure out what's going to happen here at Earth. So impact-wise, if you use precision GPS systems, there could be degradation on that. If you need to be accurate in less than an inch, it could be off by much more than that as this type of activity continues. We've been communicating with space launch officials because of a pending launch coming up. That may not happen because of this activity, but that will be for the decision makers to make. We've been talking to some state watch centers, FEMA, even the highest levels of our government at the White House to inform them about this type of activity because these can impact the electric power grid of our country, the bulk electric system. We notify even well in advance today to the power grid of North America about this pending activity, and it did indeed arrive and already materialize to the levels we were looking for. I have fellow forecasters in here tonight that are also busy handling the situation, so we are very adequately staffed here this evening handling this type of activity. So continue to look for types of posts tonight through our digital communication systems. We'll do another one of these types of reports.
Wow, I didn't realize that there's another CME that's going to be happening too. Woo! We are getting blasted. Absolutely blasted, you guys. Very important for us to be drinking really good water during these times, for us to be nourishing ourselves, to be spending time off of the screens, off of EMFs, electronics as much as possible, because we are receiving very, very strong frequencies from the sun. Look at that. This is what is this? Earth's force field under attack, getting hit. I don't think it's under attack. But yeah, look at this is the Earth getting hit by the CME. So wild, the amount of energy that comes from the sun. Bam, blast. Woo. So we are getting, look at that, blasted. We are going through this huge activation. Love it, love it, love it. So make time for proper rest, proper nourishment. Very, very important. This is a very sacred time when we have these solar flares. Very, very magical. Let's pull some cards to see what is our divine guidance from universe, from spirit for our highest good with these solar flares, with this Mercury conjunct Mars, with us being in Scorpio season still. Remember to breathe. Breathe. Take things step by step. Go look up at the skies. Go stargazing, starbathing, aurora bathing, aurora watching. Okay. Wow. Our situation is the Queen of Pentacles. Our do this card is the Queen of Swords. And our don't do this is the Six of Cups reversed. 2 queens. Oh my God. Our bonus card is the Ace of Swords. Dang. Dang. Clarity, higher truths. I'm just, and I know I keep repeating it, you guys, I'm getting a very strong sense. There's some major higher truth information that is about to be put onto the public at large, that we are about to become privy to, and it's going to shift the whole energy of the whole world, all of our consciousness. It feels like it might have to do with something that goes far back, our ancient history, who we truly are, something or someone that's been left behind, clarity. It's interesting because it's a Mercury retrograde, right? But there's things from the past, higher truth, Sagittarius, while Mercury is retrograde, coming back into the present. Oh my goodness. And these solar flares can also help us get major downloads, inspiration, creativity. Two queens. Our situation, Queen of Pentacles, and our do this, Queen of Swords. The situation is good. The situation is all is very well. We are in a very strong position as humanity, the whole world, the truther movement, the light workers. We are strong and steady moving forward. And there's big things happening with nature. Queen of Swords are do this. Use your words very efficiently, mindfully, speak your truth, and be open to the truths and the information coming forward. And I just had a brain fart. There was something else I was going to say with that. What else was I going to say with that? Articulate from your heart. Oh, yeah. Spend time with the sun. Spend time sun gazing, sunrise or sunset. Go out and actually be in the direct line of getting hit by the sun's rays. Jen says in the chat, chemtrails. Yes, some of you guys may have seen. Tucker Carlson had this dude on his podcast exposing chemtrails, which we know, many of us already know that this has really been happening. But Tucker Carlson had geoengineering expert Dane Wingington identifying what's really been going on sprayed in the skies. I still need to listen to this whole podcast because I think it's really important, but just want to play a little clip for us. We're in Scorpio season, major things being revealed. Let's listen to what's his name? Dane Wingington has to share, part of what he has to share.
We have aluminum, barium, strontium, manganese, surfactants, polymer fibers, graphene, all of this coming down in our breathable air column, Tucker.
That's horrifying. So who's doing this specifically?
Ultimately, all roads lead to those who print the money. But we know as far as the coordinating entities, certainly DOD, DARPA, and we have documents to prove the existence of these programs going back decades, documents hundreds of pages long. We have an 800-page U.S. Senate document from 1978 outlining the scope and scale of these programs then, specifically calling for intergovernmental cooperation, even between, quote, otherwise adversarial nations, because of the cross-border ramifications of these programs. You can't just geoengineer over your own country. Who's the biggest player? Obviously, the United States of America, because of the size of our military. We have, the U.S. military has 3 times more aerial tankers, which are the primary aircraft used in these operations, 3 times more than all other militaries in the world combined. And if I could back up to the whole condensation trail narrative again, which is perhaps one of the greatest lies ever perpetrated on populations all over the world, all military tankers and all commercial aircraft are equipped with what's known as a high bypass turbofan jet engine.
And just want to pause this for a moment because I have a feeling that some of you guys watching maybe don't know what chemtrails are. Chemtrails is something that's been going on for a very long time where they're literally, and I mean the dark cult, the dark arts people losing their power right now. They've been spraying poisons and heavy metals and nanoparticles into the sky that we inhale and we take in. And this has been going on for a very long time. And it's being exposed right now. I know it may sound kind of freaky, but this has been happening. And I think it's so great that Tucker Carlson is having this on his podcast. And I think Tucker is doing absolutely amazing work at the moment, coming from normie mainstream media, having his Tucker Carlson network. So thank God for Tucker Carlson. And I'll just play the last little bit of this clip.
That's a jet powered fan. 90% of the air that moves through that engine is not combusted. So by design, that engine is nearly incapable of producing any condensation trail except under rare and extreme circumstances, which are diminishing by the day because of the warming that's occurring in the troposphere. So much warming. We've had two former military pilots that fly private aircraft. Important people have contacted us at geoengineeringwatch.org. In both cases, they were off the coast of the Pacific Northwest, and their aircraft were forced into emergency auto descents because the air outside that aircraft was 45 to 50 degrees above what it should have been.
What?
The air was not dense enough to carry those aircraft. These people are very, very alarmed, but very afraid to speak out.
Unbelievable. Thank God for these scientists, these tech, people, not that he's a tech person, but you guys know what I mean. These logical minds that can explain these things to us, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely not the most technical person, even though I am an astrologer, which is a very technical art. I'm lucky that there's computers these days that help with the astrology programming and the charts. But to explain to us chemically and technically what is going on with the chemtrails, it's very important. So thank you, Dane Wingington. Beth in the chat says, Dane Wingington has been exposing the cabal's geoengineering for 2 decades. Weather manipulation began in the 1940s. Wild, absolutely wild, you guys. And I almost forgot to share Mercury retrograde. In our tarot cards, our don't do this card is 6 of Pentacles reversed. So we don't want to go into excess nostalgia, being in the past, bringing things back from the past that no longer serve. We're letting go of a lot right now. And there may be some people or places, things that get left behind, and that can be challenging. But we don't want to be in over nostalgia at these times of change. It is, did I say 6 of Cups? I thought I said 6 of Cups. Mercury retrograde. Okay, you guys, thanks so much for joining me. I hope what I shared resonated. And before we finish, want to share again that I'm super, super excited to be hosting my 2026 astrology webinar for all 12 signs, now available for sign up over on my website, megmoonbeam.com. This is a 4-day webinar where you can either join in live or catch the replay. There's unlimited replay access. Going to be live December 4th, 5th, and 7th and 8th. We'll take a 1-day break on that Saturday, December 6th. And I go in depth into my Western astrological and psychic predictions as well for each of the 12 sun, moon, and rising signs. So excited. 2026, you guys, is going to be a year that you're going to want to know how to be in your natural alignment when it comes to health, when it comes to work, when it comes to finances, relationships. It is a huge year of change. It is a year that us astrologers have been waiting for a long, long time. Saturn-Neptune conjunction, all the outer planets in fire and air signs. So important for us to see with the astrology, which is very, very real, what is in alignment with each of our placements. So, and it's always fun to do it live. I like doing it live instead of pre-recorded because we can have conversations. We can hear people personally, each of the signs, how they're doing, what their feedback is. We have lots of fun and have a nice community over there. So really, really looking forward to it. And also, you guys, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you all on Friday for another daily astrology horoscope. Enjoy the solar flares. Enjoy the aurora borealis if you have that in your area. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.